Today, we're going to be discussing the top current goalkeepers in the Premier League as it stands. Now, we're going to be tiering it from S to honourable mentions. So, you can give me your opinions on who you fancy, but this is who I fancy and who I believe is the best and who isn't the best. But there is a few decent goalkeepers and probably some names that some of you may disagree with, but I've watched a lot of Premier League this season, probably more than I ever have. So I'm going to be objective about it. I'm going to be fair, but before we do that, please do smash that like button. It helps the algorithms massively, and you can get me a new subscriber. A new subscriber might be hearing me for the first time and feel like, what is this guy talking about? Well, here we are. We're talking about the top 10 current goalkeepers in the Premier League. Now, a lot of guys like to talk about, or even girls, want to talk about legacy. I'm not even trying to play that part. I'm just going to see who's actually had the performances and who pretty much stands out the most to me. There's been some injuries, there's been some ups and downs, but I find a lot of people want to nitpick players like goalkeepers and players bad performances, and I don't really understand that. It's like, because I feel like most players have had bad performances, especially goalkeepers. I think most of them have had some sort of errors. Even Jordan Pickford getting slandered for quite a few of them. But let's get straight into the video anyways. And as you can see, it's from SABC, and you might even see a couple of faces. Now, as I mentioned, there's about 13 goalkeepers in this list as it currently stands, and I'm gonna pretty much do this in order. I think it's pretty easy to probably put someone there like Alisson. See, Alisson for me, right, is easily the best. He's been doing it for season in, season out, and even though he's been injured for about I think about 5 weeks maybe. I could be. Kelleher has done an amazing job, but in my opinion, when it does come down to Alisson, I'm pretty sure he's kept Liverpool in this running for a long time, and I'm not going to discount that whatsoever. I think Alisson's been fantastic 1v1s, and he's bailed out a lot of that defense, you could say, as well, in that Liverpool team, other than because Van Dijk's been a big help, but they have conceded lots of chances. If we move on to the second goalkeeper, Areola. Now, West Ham have had a decent goalkeeper on their hands, trying to replace Fabianski a little bit. Who better than who was their number 2 than Areola? I think it's fair to put him in C. I think West Ham have had a pretty underrated season. They've been up and down. They're just below Manchester United as it stands. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think he's had a decent season, and he's done a lot better as well. I think last season as well, when he came into the boots of obviously Fabianski playing a lot more, I think that's a fair shout. But yeah, moving on as well, if we go David Raya. Now, he started off a little bit shaky, and I'm not much of a fancy of these T-Rex arms of his, but he's performed well recently. Like, I think ever since the Lons game, where he made a blunder, I think he's been fairly decent. And for me, if I'm gonna put Raya anywhere, I think he's in between B and C for me. He's been really good, but for now, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna put him in C for now. I might change my mind. Arsenal have been fantastic, and the defense, can't really fault Arsenal's defense. With Arsenal's defense, I don't think it matters who's in goal too tough. But then you say that, and then Ramsdale makes that error, and then before you know it, you need your attack to bail you out. So on that, in that fair, I think it's a fair note. I think he's had a really good defense in front of him. Edison, you know what? He's a good goalkeeper. He definitely had a good season last season. A much better season, but people think he's only good with his feet when he's actually decent at shot stopping. Not too bad, not the greatest, but he's not too sad. But for this season alone, considering that, the defense of Manchester City hasn't been the greatest, I would maybe put him in C as well. That's the 4th goalkeeper down. I might even be tempted to put him in B, but I think C for now is a bit fair for now. You got Kaminsky. Now, he might have to go down to honourable mentions, so I'm going to put him there for now. Luton Town has, they faced a lot of shots, and he's really kept them in the game. I've seen them actually have a couple blunders as well. I believe he's Polish. Luton Town have been quite unfair. You could say they're the flavour of the town as well. Kaminsky's been a good part of that, and I don't think the defence has helped him whatsoever. The amount of shots he's faced, it's a bit like David Raya last year as well. Well, Brentford faced a lot of shots and a good high percentage as well. I think I'm going to put him in honourable mentions for now, but I might change my mind. Please, again, if you are in here watching, do smash the like button. Leno, now see, I think he's having a fantastic season. I think that's easy. I think B's a really good shout for him. I think Leno's having an underrated season on top of somebody else as well. It might cause a couple people to be like, "What are you talking about?" Da, 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 da. But Leno, Fulham have been playing that old style 4-4-2. And when you think of Fulham, you just think of counter attack. You think of a bit of flair, and they've got all the tools to go forward. They've got a good defense. They've got a good midfield. They've got quite a bit of pace about them as well when they need to, with Iwobi and obviously David Coda Reed and Willian and so forth and so forth. Even Harry Wilson at times. And then obviously they got Muniz up front, and I think they found their flavour a little bit there. I think Leno's been fantastic and nothing short of it. Another one that's actually come from Arsenal. Emiliano Martinez for Aston Villa. Yeah, you know what? They're full for a reason, and they have conceded 42 goals this year. I wouldn't say he's been the best of defenses. And they've had a bit of a makeshift. Sometimes Con's out right back, sometimes Matty Cash, depends what it might be. I think Martinez is that standard solid. I'd probably put him in the A category right there. I think, yeah, he's an outstanding. Ever since the World Cup, maybe Arsenal could have saved a few bob with if they kept him, obviously, but you never know. Like, football works in mysterious ways, but I think he deserves to be there. I think he's had a good season, a very good season. I think Aston Villa deserve a lot more props, even if they are to fall out this top four. He is definitely a big reason. Massive saves. Neto. Bournemouth are really underrated. You know what? I'm gonna have to put Neto in C. And you know what? I might have to upgrade one of them. I might have to upgrade David Raya to B potentially, Because I have to think of it like this. Has David Raya been anything better than an Edison? I don't think so. So that's why I put him in around the C flavor a little bit. I keep calling it flavors. Has Neto been better? I think look, Bournemouth have undergone a bit of surgery with their new ownership, and I believe they have been really good, especially in their attack. Even their director of football is off to Liverpool. I think it's there. I think this is kind of a fair C list. I think Leno's been better than all of them. I think he has. Three people have to miss out. But my next B, I think Petrovic deserves an honourable mention. I don't think he's going to make my list this time. I think he's been really good for Chelsea. He's definitely better than Robert Sanchez, and he's quite young. He's got a lot of boots to fill into. Chelsea are just a calamity, so it is what it is. I think it's all a collective, but that's definitely not his fault. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. He's just not, obviously, I don't think Kaminsky can't make the list, but that must mean Petrovic might not make the list. Maybe I'll put him there. Actually, no, tell a lie. I think he's been, you know what? He's a good goalkeeper. There's not much to it. Anana, again, another goalkeeper I'd probably have to put in the C category, and probably, you know what? He's restored himself. And he probably does make the top 10. And it's not biased because I'm a Man United fan, but Anana, since you could say maybe the January run a little bit, he hasn't really been making those mistakes. He was awful at the start. Like, you had people calling out, including myself, about this goalkeeping situation. Why get rid of the Gea when you've got this blunder? But I don't think they've worked to his strengths. But he's been really good for the last few months. I think he's sitting on 7 clean sheets as well. And even if you go to Liverpool gaming before that, he's been pulling off a lot of good saves. And I think he's restored himself. A bit like David Raya, maybe a couple other ones as well. I think he could stay there. I've got 1, 2, 3, up to 8 goalkeepers, 2 more left. And I think this is going to make sense now. This is where it might get a little bit controversial. Pickford is in B. Now, I understand Everton have been not the greatest team of late, but Sean Dyche has that team playing a good style that is going to keep them up. If it wasn't for, obviously, the deduction of points, they'll be a lot further up the table. I believe by a good 4 points, they might get another deduction, but Pickford has been solid. I think Branthwaite's helped him, probably assured him some confidence, but I think he's assured his defence some confidence as well. Pickford's been nothing short of sublime this year, and I think he's really underrated. See, again, like I said, I have watched a lot of Premier League football this year, and when it comes to Everton, when you especially want them to do something against one of the big sides, not saying they've always pulled through, but Pickford has not really made a lot of mistakes compared to what he used to be, and I think he's been really, I can't lie, I think he's been solid. I think he deserves it next to Leno as well. Jose Sarr, yeah, I think Wolves deserve a lot of praise. Wolves have been there, in and around it. I think the new manager as well has got them playing some good sensational stuff. It's just a lot of inconsistencies. I wrote off Wolves at the start of the season, and even going forward there. I think that probably deserves honorable mention. I think Jose Sa is quite a solid goalkeeper in my eyes. Has he been let down by the defense a couple of times? Maybe. But he's just a really good shot stopper, and he's going to give you pretty much a 6 out of 10 every week if on an average rating. The last one I'm going to put is Vicario, and I think Vicario has been, you know what? I don't even think it's there. I think Vicario has been the second best goalkeeper in the league. See, with Tottenham have undergone a lot of surgery themselves. Transfer window, it's 14 million as well, and that doesn't go to show about the price tag for performances. But if you think of him in a general, he's faced a lot of shots. Tottenham play a very high line of football. His defense you could even put across there. You know, he's had two fullbacks at centre back. You know, and even from then, he's proved that he's really good. At the start of the season, I remember that Brentford game that was 2-2, and he seemed a bit shaky, but he's just held his own lately. I think he's really good at getting down to the corners as well. Good shot stopper. Yes, he messed up against Everton, which is going to be the known thing, but I think he deserves that spot. And he's been good. He's been really good. I don't know what you guys think, but please smash the like button. We're gonna go through the list one more time so you lot can see. And there it is. You can see it. I think Alisson's definitely up there holding that trophy. You got Vicario there. You know, you got David Ryan C, and I know I believe he's got the most clean sheets, but I think that's helped out by Arsenal's phenomenal defense. And then yeah, we're gonna be doing some more tier lists. But from there, guys, look, subscribe if you like the content. Smash the like if you're just to help me out. And then we're going to continue doing this, but big up yourselves. And that's my top 10 current goalkeepers. If you disagree, if there's anyone I missed, please make sure to tell me in a bit.